The villagers have gone mad. Everyone who enters this village will all become targets. First, this woman tied up. The meat is used as a meal for his colleagues. Then the blood on the spear stabs this man, also cooked into grilled meat. Today there are several young men who will be made a meal. Seeing someone coming to the village, the residents greeted him with joy. Even Mayor Freddy immediately greeted them and invite them to join the annual event. Unexpectedly, they were welcomed warmly in this village. This young man is happy because today met them. Then they were escorted by all the villagers. Not only delicious food, but there are many beautiful men and women. Some people ask them out. They didn't know that they were in a scary place. Death is coming. They started to fall into the trap. Freddy called the village chef, told him to prepare a side dish to cook. Like old hunting, people who have an open mind will be the first victims. They sent handsome men to make Ayu melt. It only took half an hour to make Ayu melt at him. The man took him to the stable. When Ayu was ready to make love, this man says he will make a surprise. Then the pretty eyes were tied. When the blindfold was opened, Ayu did not see the surprise that was said. Instead, he became very afraid. Turns out his body was tied with rope, every leg and hand tied to the horse. Realized something was wrong. Ayu screamed for help, but this man laughed and said no one would help him. With a loud scream, Ayu's body was pulled into 4 parts. In the evening, Freddy invited the young people to eat together. Those who didn't know it were drooling and praised the chef for cooking. No one paid attention. What was eaten was his girlfriend's buttocks, which still showed tattoos. After dinner, residents start preparing the second meal. In the middle of the night, suddenly a hot woman called Rio. Rio is feeling very lucky. Rushed him to the room. But when he was about to have intercourse, the woman suddenly took out a tube. Rio thought he was given good alcohol, but after drinking it he realized it was sulfuric acid with very high acid. Before long his stomach was spewing smoke and started to blister. It finally worked. His stomach became hollow. Then this woman blew it and smoke came out. The next morning, his friends did not realize that their friend had disappeared. When they are about to leave, villagers stop them. Freddy informs that the event will start soon. Why don't you come and then leave? Seeing the people who were so friendly, they didn't suspect anything at all. Then the girls brought them to soak in the water. When they were finished, they were given nice clothes, and tiaras were brought to dance with them. Little did he know that above his head, there was already an iron gong hanging. But at that moment all the villagers suddenly became silent. An old woman started to cast a spell. This terrible scene was seen by Dion, who accidentally passed by. He was frightened and immediately ran into the forest. But this was village territory and he couldn't run. Soon Dion met a villager. Residents immediately pulled him out. He was taken to the middle of the middle. He kept screaming for help. After the Dion was successfully controlled, from behind was a woman carrying a spear. They imagined cooking meat rolling humans. The residents immediately cheered. Only 4 people left, which they have to be together. Now they already feel something is wrong. They decide to find their friend, then leave here. But just as they were about to leave, Freddy appeared with several other people. He brought an old knife from 1982. They were threatened that if they didn't join the event until it was over, no one was allowed to leave. Seeing the vicious-looking residents, they started to feel anxious. They could only bide their time before they could escape. Currently, the residents are not as friendly as they used to be. Have shown their evil, as if looking at their prey. But they can't think about it. Having to find their other comrades. Bondin will look for the whereabouts of his girlfriend. There were 2 singers following him, making Bondin angry. He cursed both of them. But the old man wasn't mad at him, instead pointing his guitar at him. Turns out they were his girlfriends. Bondin is no longer suspicious. Immediately chased him back. But after approaching his girlfriend, it turned out that it was not his girlfriend. Bondin just realized he had been caught in a trap. Bondin has been caught by them. Now he is tied up in a hut. Looks like they're going to juice the Bondin. When everything was ready, the villager pushed the wood and the machine started. The stone also slowly fell. Only groans were heard. Bondin body is made into fresh juice. In another place, Bayu is looking for his friends. He found strange cottage. Stomach that has been perforated because of sulfuric acid. His friend is standing inside. Bayu will check it out. But just then his leg got stuck in the device. Fortunately not hit. And his feet are not stuck. But when Bayu went inside, he saw nothing. Only drops of blood on the floor. He followed the trail until he went inside. Turns out the blood was from the food on the table. Bayu slowly opened the lid. He's been lied to. Because it contains fruit inside. Suddenly the door behind him opened. And his friend's corpse hung. But before Bayu knew it, 2 cooks immediately came in from behind. Some held blood-stained knives. Bayu had previously seen his friends here. He now pretended to be calm. Said looking for food. Now we'll leave from this place soon. At this time Aging walked into the attic. He looked around. A woman in bikini appeared. Instantly he was tempted. Immediately sat down on the spot and the woman was below. But did not realize that he was in danger. The woman wears steel teeth. Suddenly Aging became frightened. At the same time, Maya went to a shop to find her friends. When he opened the cupboard, he found a bottle of human flesh. Maya had not had time to be surprised. Suddenly a man appeared. Elsewhere Bayu found something. Finally found his partner's motorbike in the cowshed. When he was about to leave, the mayor's son suddenly appeared out of nowhere. Seeing that he was about to run away, he immediately threw something. Behind already appeared 2 women. Bayu still doesn't know the situation. He was shot with a slingshot by the mayor's son. In the evening, the annual event is held. The residents were very happy because they tied the Bayu. Then they discussed what to do with Bayu. Maya is also tied up next to him. Seeing the residents screaming loudly, Bayu was so scared that he peed in his pants. Unexpectedly fresh meat in front of them. Freddy turned and opened the plate on the table. It turned out that there were friends of their friends. How heartless these people are. They not only cook their friends' bodies, but also make fresh sushi. What's even scarier? The mayor takes a fresh brain, then just eats it. Bayu wanted to vomit seeing him. Event is at its peak. Residents holding hands around the Bayu table, as if thanking God. Freddy suddenly thought of a more exciting way. If Bayu can kill Maya with his own hands, he will let Bayu become a villager, so as not to be eaten by this madman. Bayu pretended to agree. Then he approached Maya with knife. When the residents thought Bayu was going to kill Maya, Bayu threw a knife. He killed a man, then took Maya to run. But both of them are already surrounded by the villagers. Then there is no place. When the 2 were desperate, Freddy blew the whistle. The residents backed off. Himself will catch Bayu. Then with his sword attack Bayu. After a fierce fight, Freddy can be defeated by Bayu. In no time, Freddy fell to the ground. Bayu took a fork. Threatens Freddy to let them go. If not he will gouge out his eyes. Hearing threats from Bayu, Freddy prepares to let them go. They immediately withdrew. Bayu went by riding a motorcycle. He also takes Maya away from this place. The next day they came again with the police. It turned out that the village had disappeared. There are only graves. They tell the police the truth. Previously this village was inhabited. But 100 years ago, all the residents died because of civil war. The 2 of them just realized they had not met humans before, but a group of ghosts. Bayu's gaze fixed on the statue. He finds a statue of Freddy in the middle of the grave. Seeing this disgusting mayor, an angry Bayu immediately spat at him. Then the 2 of them left the place. Not far they went. They suddenly passed through the road with sharp wires. At this time Freddy's son appeared towards the comrades. He immediately licked up the blood. Then walked over while carrying the heads of the 2.